How did I go from this, kicking, flailing, and kipping my way to my first one-arm pull-up, to this? Absolutely dominating the one-arm pull-up, being able to perform a one-arm pull-up with perfect form and even adding weight up to 15 pounds. Well, to even get to the point where I could do a one-arm pull-up with all the kicking and flailing took a lot of work. But if I can do it, then you can too. In early 2018, I decided I wanted to achieve a one-arm pull-up. My journey begins as a mildly overweight 26-year-old who had just spent the better part of the last year with chronic ear infections requiring many courses of antibiotics, working 40 plus hours per week with 2 jobs, and having very little time for exercise when I was feeling well. However, in early 2018, my ear infections cleared up and have not returned since, and I transitioned to one stable job only working 40 hours per week, allowing me to pursue my one-arm pull-up goal. When I first started training for the one-arm pull-up, it felt impossible. I hadn't been doing pull-ups previously in any meaningful way, so I started with the bodyweight pull-up, and I did this until I could do multiple sets of pull-ups to failure in the range of 20 to 25 reps consecutively. After I felt I had mastered the bodyweight pull-up, I started training weighted pull-ups and assisted one-arm pull-ups. The weighted pull-up is a staple exercise to achieving the one-arm pull-up. The one-arm pull-up is a strength movement which requires you to exert intense effort over a short period of time, about 2 seconds per rep, and this uses stored ATP in the muscle and the phosphocreatine energy system to produce ATP. The same energy system used for sprinting short distances and performing a 1 rep max for exercises like the squat, bench, and deadlift. So, to adapt muscles to this high demand, you need to train with high intensity over a short period of time, and weighted pull-ups are great for this. You can easily increase the weight and progressively overload your pull-up muscles to stimulate strength adaptations. Add weight with a weight belt, weighted vest, putting weights in a backpack, or even holding a dumbbell, a barbell, or kettlebells with your feet, or any combination of these methods, so long as you are sufficiently adding enough weight to make 1 to 5 reps very challenging. A target to see if you're strong enough to do a one-arm pull-up is being able to pull somewhere around 70 to 90% of your body weight in a 2-arm weighted pull-up 1 rep max. Once I started increasing my pulling power with weighted pull-ups, I started performing assisted 1-arm pull-ups with or without a negative, and these really accelerated my progress. Specificity is just as important as intensity when trying to achieve any strength goal, and assisted 1-armers are great because they target both specificity, meaning they use the exact same muscles and coordination needed to perform a 1-arm pull-up, and they are very intense, especially with a slow negative. Going right from bodyweight pull-ups to assisted 1-arm pull-ups is a big jump, and that's why I recommend improving your weighted pull-up first. I use both elastic band assisted and non-elastic band assisted 1-arm pull-ups. I also did assisted 1-arm pull-ups without any equipment. You can use one arm for pulling as hard as you can and the other arm for assisting as needed to get your chin to the bar and then to slowly descend to the bottom end of the rep. With assisted 1-arm pull-ups, you want to pull as hard as you can with one arm, and the assistance that you're giving, whether using bands or not, is just as needed to slowly reach the top of the rep and then slowly descend to the bottom end of the rep. You want to build up to the point where you can let go with your assisting arm to do a slow 1-arm negative. If once you let go with your assisting arm, you should be able to slow down that negative rep for at least 5 seconds, and if you can't do that, you're not strong enough to do a negative yet, and you'll be at high risk for injury and tendonitis. These are the main progressions I used to get my first 1-arm pull-up. On January 4th, 2019, I did my very first ugly 1-arm pull-up. By this time, I had lost close to 20 pounds of fat since I started my journey, which played a significant role in my ability to complete a rep. I would go on to continue training 2 to 3 sessions a week, still using some of these progression exercises, as well as actually doing reps of 1-armers. Once I started to consistently be able to do a 1-arm pull-up, my training sessions consisted of 1-arm pull-up reps with each arm. Eventually, I would increase my strength and enough to add weight, with increases in weight being very small, as little as 2.5 pounds added. But eventually, with enough training, on July 25th, 2020, I did my first set of 2 consecutive 1-arm pull-ups. After this, I would get my first set of perfect form 1 rep 1-arm pull-ups with both arms on September 12th, 2021. And a set with 2 reps with each arm alternating arms between reps on the same day with decent form. I would be stuck at 2 reps in each arm until June 19th, 2022, when I did my first set of 3 1-arm pull-ups in each arm. But my form was poor, but it always starts out as poor when I add a new rep to my consecutive 1-arm pull-up rep record, and over time it gets much better. Then, on August 6th, 2022, I did my first decent rep with 5 pounds added using an ankle weight. Then on July 19th, 2023, I did my first set of 3 one-arm pull-ups in each arm with great form. As well as a one-arm pull-up with 10 pounds added with each arm with great form, and then a set of one-arm pull-ups with 10 pounds added for a set of 2 consecutive reps in each arm with bad form. My next personal record would take place on December 26, 2023, and is 2 reps with each arm with 5 pounds added. And I feel this is my next personal record, even though I had already done 10 pounds added, because the form was really good with my right arm, not as much with my left though. My next personal records both take place on December 31st, 2023, and I complete a one-arm pull-up with 12.5 pounds added with both arms, and then 15 pounds added in both arms. And at this time, I'm 17 pounds heavier than when I did my first one-arm pull-up back in 2019, and with the added 15 pounds, this is 32 pounds more from then till now. I want to talk about some other aspects of my training during my journey, and I'll start with the lock-off. I really like training the lock-off with or without a slow negative at the end, because I spent a lot of time under tension, up to 22 seconds, which is a lot of stimulus, and this resulted in a big adaptive response. But when your goal is strength, which it is when you're learning or improving on a one-arm pull-up, you want to add enough weight so that you are on a lock-off for about 5 to 10 seconds. So then of course the next progression after a body weight lock-off is adding weight to the lock-off. And using ankle weights, a weighted belt, or a weighted vest are very helpful for this exercise, because holding the weight in your hands will make it difficult to get into the correct position to start the exercise. As I continued to train, I would then put on muscle and my weight would slowly come up year after year, and I would eventually return to my original weight of 175 pounds 5 years after completing my first one-arm pull-up. However, this newly added weight would be nearly all functional muscle mass. Putting on muscle while you are training for a one-arm pull-up is interesting, because as I was getting stronger, I was also getting heavier. So progress at times felt slow, but eventually my body adapted to the new weight and my one-arm pull-up ability improved dramatically. During this entire 6-year period of training, I also cross-trained in the front lever, push-up, muscle-up, and other calisthenic skills like the dip and pistol squat. I also occasionally do some gym weightlifting like bicep curls and shoulders. My routine is 2 pull-up days per week and 1 push day or antagonist muscle day per week, and the occasional leg day. On my rest days, I often go for a walk or light jog, and I'll deload every 4 to 6 weeks. So how did I go from this to this? Well, ultimately the answer is high effort training plus consistency, and over time you will get the results you're aiming for. A realistic timeline is more like 3 to 12 months, but it could be shorter or longer. It all just depends on where you're starting from, your body type, age, genetics, your training history, and overall lifestyle. For more perspective on my journey, I have done around 40,000 pull-ups in the last 6 years over the course of 1,000 hours of training. And most of those pull-ups were weighted, assisted one-arm pull-ups, or just one-arm pull-ups themselves. I train pull-ups 2 times per week, which is 104 sessions a year, which equals 624 sessions over the past 6 years. Each training session is anywhere from 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So an average of 1 hour and 15 minutes, this is a total of 780 hours of pull-up training over the past 6 years. But if you add the front lever training, which does assist with my pull-up development, which is about 1 session per week, but sometimes 2, but let's just say 1 session per week at 1 hour and 15 minutes per session over the past 5 years, because I only really started training that about 5 years ago. This is 325 hours of training. Together with the pull-up training, this is a total of 1,105 hours. But let's just round to 1,000 hours at this point. And now in terms of total reps, each pull-up session, the number of reps can vary significantly, from as many as 200 if I'm training very high rep body weight sets, or as little as 30 if I'm mixing 2-arm pull-ups with just 1-arm pull-ups. So a conservative average is about 50 reps per session. 50 reps per session times by 104 sessions per year multiplied by 6 years is 31,200 reps. In addition to this, I also do a set of 5 to 10 pull-ups every day that I don't have a specific training session dedicated to pull-ups. So if we said I do a conservative 7 pull-ups a day, 5 days a week, this is an additional 1,820 pull-ups a year. And I have been doing this for the last 5 years now, which equates to 9,100 more pull-ups, bringing my total rep count to 40,300. But let's just round to 40,000 reps. So 40,000 reps and 1,000 training hours over the past 6 years was my journey to master the one-arm pull-up so far. I hope my story can help inspire you to start or continue your own one-arm pull-up journey, or help motivate you to start or continue your own journey in some other fitness endeavor. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.